Hey there, Coach Devin here. Today we are going to do something a little different. What has been playing in my mind for, a few days now, probably actually more like a few weeks, is mistakes I've made as a parent. And I wanted to sort of touch on that. Before we get going, please hit like and subscribe down below. Share this with your friends if you think it's going to help them. The reason I do these videos is because most of the time it's about health and fitness. This is about, I guess, family health. And, as a parent, we go through a lot of stuff. And I want to share some of my experiences. I have 3 things that I wish that I had done differently with my kids. And hopefully someone will learn or get something out of this with some of the mistakes that I think that I may have made along the way. All right, so to give you a little background story, I have 4 children. That's right, there's 4. I have 4 of them. I have 2 biological kids. I have an 18 and a 14-year-old, and I have 2 kids that I was lucky enough to get when I married my wife, Dev. They are 11 and 8. I was a single dad half the time, and I never say single dad, because my kids, my older 2 kids, were with their mom half the time. So I was a single dad half the time for quite a while. And you know what? I did some screw-ups in that time, and actually before that time, before when I was still married to my first wife, that I did that I think in retrospect, if there was something I would go back and fix in my life, they would be the things I would do. And there's really 3 of them. I've thought about this a lot. There's 3, and I'm going to go into them and talk to them a little bit about it and just be as raw and honest as I can be, because I wish someone had told me this stuff. I don't know if I would have listened. I'll be quite honest. I don't know if I would have listened if somebody said to me, hey, Devin, these are some things you should be doing. Because I can be headstrong, and I can be, I'm a guy that likes to make my own decisions and make my own, and figure things out on my own, which is not healthy and not good. But I do that. I know that about myself, and especially a younger version of me probably wouldn't have listened. But hopefully some of you guys are smarter than I am. That's the hope, that is some of you guys are smarter and understand, what, you can learn something from somebody who's been through it and screwed some things up. So the number one thing that I would have done differently with my children, my older kids specifically, cell phones. I would not have given them cell phones till they're probably 14 or 15 years old. And I would have limited or shut down most of their access to computers and the internet until they were old enough to know better. And my reasoning for that is pretty simple. Once you give a kid a cell phone, they have access to everything, and you really can't. I mean, you can control it to an extent, but they are going to figure out a workaround on you, and they're going to figure out ways to do things differently that probably aren't good. They're going to learn things that you probably don't want them to learn yet. And I know that happened with my older kids. They learned a lot of stuff young, or younger than I should have. My son was 12 when he got a phone. And I know for a lot of people, that's not that old, right? They think, oh, well, shoot, that's actually, he's pretty old to get a cell phone. But I will say, my son and I were having a conversation the other day. He's 18. And I said, you know what, this is one of the things I wish I had done. I wish I'd not given you a phone at 12 years old. And he said, actually, you shouldn't have not given me a computer, because I had access to everything on the computer. And you thought I was just, playing Roblox and watching YouTube. But really, I was looking up all kinds of stuff that I shouldn't have been into. And I think that kind of hits it right on the head. That's one of those situations where my son at 18 years old is saying, hey, that was too much. And that, that was a screw up on my part. They are only kids for so long. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, it's okay if they're on TikTok, or it's okay if they're on Instagram, okay if they're on the internet. We're in a media age, you can learn anything. And I'm the first guy to say that too. I say to my kids all the time, listen, guys, you're in a time that you can learn anything you want by clicking something in your pocket. It's insane. It's amazing, actually. Like, you can do things that none of us for thousands of years could do. I couldn't do as a kid either. But you know what? You have the opportunity now to learn enormous amounts of information at the click of a finger. That is crazy. It's wild. It's amazing. But that is also a problem too, because they're too young. My kids were too young for that. And the stuff on TikTok now, yes, there's some fun dances, but the whole point of TikTok is to keep you on TikTok. That's what it's there for. Snapchat. Why do you think they have Snapchat streaks? Snapchat streaks are there so the kids continue, or you as an adult, continue to say you're on their platform, on their platform, on their platform. And then your mind is being, I would say in a good way, to be polluted by it as a kid. Because there's a ton of stuff that they do not need to see and should not be seeing on Snapchat, on Instagram, and on TikTok. There's some very, very mature content. My kids were, at the time, when my son was 11 or 12, those things didn't exist, but they exist now. And, my younger kids, I don't want them seeing that stuff. It's not good for them. It's not healthy for them. And it concerns me. It honestly concerns me about what that says. One of the things, I'm not on TikTok. I've seen TikTok. People on TikTok look, either they're doing some silly dances or whatever, but one of my clients put it probably the best. He said the girls on TikTok look perfect, and he wanted to put a number on it. I don't rate girls, but he put a number. He said they're 15s, and he had a very good point. He said, how are girls and women supposed to feel confident about themselves if this is what they're seeing? It's a good question. So that was my number one thing I wish I had not done. Computers, the internet, and phones for my kids. I wish I had not done it at a younger age. I wish I had waited until they were older and or just more mature so they maybe they would understand it better. Number two, I own a business. I own a gym. And the one thing I wish, as a kid, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family too. And I wasn't interested. My dad and mom owned a computer shop. My brother now owns it. I wasn't really interested in it, but I worked in it. We also owned a farm when I was younger. I worked on that too. Didn't like either of those things, but I did them. And I think it built some character for me, and it taught me to do things that I didn't like and understand the greater good of, you have to do this because you're helping your family. It's not about me. It's not about me making some money as a teenager. It's about me helping my family to make money to buy goods and things that they need. I didn't grow up rich. I didn't grow up with a ton of money. I grew up in when I was younger, not a well-off family. Older, yeah, we had a little bit of money, but again, not a ton of money. My parents chose that. They moved from Chicago to rural Cape Breton because that was a life they wanted. And that's okay. That's cool. But the one thing I wish I had done with my own kids, I own a business. I wish I had taken them to work. They came to my work lots of times, but I made them work. That's one thing I wish I did. They understood that dad works a lot. They understood that dad has clients and he has to have interactions with those clients. They understood a lot of things, but they didn't get the workload. And I look at other families that, the kids grew up working in the business and expected to work in the business all the time. You know what? I feel like that is healthy. That's good. They understand where money comes from. And you understand where money comes from at a younger age. And it's not about money for them. Like I said, it's about money for how the family lives. They can understand, hey, shoot, this is how dad or mom make money. This is what they have to do. This is the amount of time they have to put to one side to make money. I think they will respect the money a little bit more. And that's super important. If you can find kids to help respect the money and understand where the money comes from, it's important. If you can take your kids to work, do it. If you can teach them what you do and how hard it is, because everybody's job is technical. I can't go to your house and do your job. You can't come to my place and do my job because we do different things. And that's cool, but your kids need to understand that and learn it. I think it's super, super important. I wish I had done it with all of my kids. I wish they were there working, scrubbing floors, cleaning toilets, and answering the phone. I wish they had done all of it and understood, this is what dad does for a living. And you know what? This is what I need to do to help support it. And it's a lot of work for us to live the lifestyle we have. I think it's important, and I think it builds some good work ethic. And the third thing is, this is my own personal issue here. I wish I gave my kids more chores. So the thing that I did as a kid, I didn't love chores. And as an adult, I'm a guy who just takes it on. If something's dirty, I clean it. That's who I am. I grew up feeling all the time that I was going to be a husband or a father who did the grunt work. If toilets need to be cleaned, I clean the toilet. I don't think about it. Same thing at work. If something's dirty, I pick it up. On the floor, I pick it up. If it's dirty, I clean it. That's how I am. But that's not a good way to be when you have children. I wish I gave my kids more chores. They had some chores. My kids were great. They wash their own clothes. They're good with their dishes. But I let their rooms be disastrous. Was that a good choice? Well, you know what? My argument at the time would have been, well, Devin, it's okay. Let them have their own space. It's not your space. Let them do what they want to do in there. But that's gross. It doesn't teach them, because their rooms would be gross. It doesn't teach them to respect where they are, respect their space. My mom and dad were not super picky about cleanliness, insofar as, they're not type A tidy people. That's not who they are. But we cleaned. And I wish I had done differently with my own kids, the older kids specifically, that I wish I had done a better job on making them do more chores. I gave them laundry. I said, you guys are old enough, you're going to learn. I'm going to teach you how to do it. You're going to do your own laundry. Great. I did that. But you know what? There were many, many more steps. It wasn't just laundry and garbage. They should have been mowing lawns. They should have been washing floors. But you know what? I was stupid. I stepped up and I did all that stuff myself. And that's not good. I can guarantee you, I think that my kids probably would have, and I don't think my kids are terrible people, but I think I could have done a better job and helped them to understand things better and grow up better had I done my part better. So those are my 3 things. Those are the 3 things I think I did wrong as a parent. I definitely wish I'd done some of those things differently or better, but you can't go back. But I'm hoping that maybe, you guys might learn a little bit from this and maybe not screw up some stuff that I screwed up. If you have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. Fitness related, whatever. And if you have comments on things that you think I may have missed on this, or things that you think that maybe, you didn't do well with your kids, let's share. Hopefully we can, together help parents and other parents come up with better ideas and better ways to do things. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.